back to Tennis Picks and Bets here on the Mayo Media Network. The second week of the final slam of the year is upon us as we get ready for the fourth round kicking off on Sunday. We have 3 picks for you for all of Sunday's action. But before we get to those, go ahead and make sure you like this video, comment with your favorite play for Sunday below, and of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to make sure you get all the notifications across the Mayo Media Network. And if you listen in podcast or audio form, Daily Fantasy Sports Picks and Bets, The Mix has you covered as well. Like, review, subscribe, all that good stuff at whichever podcast app you use. We'll begin today with the women. We will have Simona Halep on the money line against Elina Svitolina, and this one is as high as plus 110 out there. This is just the wrong woman as the underdog for me. I think Simona Halep is rock solid. She has shown that injury is now behind her. She played against Elena Rybakina in the last round, did end up coming through, albeit needed 3 sets to do so. Rybakina played one heck of a match. Some shots she isn't used to making with her big power, hitting those low margin shots. She was painting a lot of lines, and that really forced Simona Halep to dig deep and needing 3 sets to win it. Almost blew a 6-2 lead in the first set tiebreak as well. Came through that, winning that tiebreak 13-11, and then, of course, got the early break in the third set. Nice job from her against a big power player who was really hitting through her in parts of that match. Now she's going to get a counter puncher, someone who can dial up a bit of pace, but not nearly as much as she saw in the last round, and it's going to be a much more controllable match for her. The match will be more on her terms. She is a far better grinder than Elina Svitolina, and with her improved serve this week, it wasn't as good last round, but in the first 2 rounds, she showed some improvement. I think this is just a tad bit disrespectful to a 2-time Grand Slam champion in Simona Halep, and I'm going to go ahead and back her as an underdog here when she's looking pretty in form this week. Next match I want to talk about is on the men's side. It is Diego Schwartzman, minus 6.5 games against Bodek van de Zandschulp. That is a mouthful. This one comes in at minus 105. It has come down a bit, but it's still worth playing at this price. This is a lot like the Kevin Anderson match, except I think he's playing someone he can return against even more efficiently than he did against Anderson, and he won that in straight sets anyway. He has had a bit of a tumultuous season. I'd say almost a middling kind of season, but he's had some tough draws. In Tokyo, he ran into a red-hot Haran Khachanov in his second or third match, and then his second match in Toronto, of course, he had a bye in the first round. His second round, he won. The round of 16, he runs into Bautista Agut. That's a tough match, especially when the courts are playing a bit quicker, and he lost that in 3 sets. And then Casper Ruud, who's had a pretty good summer hardcourt season as well, and a pretty good season all round, is another tough matchup for him, but he's had a bit of an easier draw here in New York, and boy, has he taken advantage of it. Now he has a 4th round against Bodek van de Zandschulp, who's had a nice season in his own right, but a lot of that success coming at the challenger level. I don't know if he's quite ready to play against Diego Schwartzman. Schwartzman's service games this week have looked really impressive to me, and if he's holding serve as well as he has been all week, I think he can really do some damage here. Look for a similar match to the last one against Alex Molchan in terms of scoreline. Completely different style of opponent, of course. Molchan more of a pusher grinder, Bodek more of a big hitter. But this is where Schwartzman will get pace to redirect, and he's coming up against someone who isn't as good of a mover. And with his serve playing up pretty well this week, he should certainly roll once again to a straight sets victory. Finally, we go back to the women's side, and we're going to take Garbiñe Muguruza on the money line against Barbara Krejcikova at plus 102. Look, Krejcikova, we talked about Brooksby on the last video being one of the male players in terms of breakout player of the year candidates. Well, I mean, there is no candidates for the women's side. It is Barbara Krejcikova. Not someone who you had on the radar coming into this season. She made a final in Dubai. She won a tournament in Strasbourg, won the French Open, second week of Wimbledon, won a tournament in Prague. I mean, it has been incredible. She has vaulted herself into the top 10 in the women's rankings, but her competition this week, the likes of Astra Sharma, the likes of Christina McHale, not even close to the pedigree of a multiple-time Grand Slam champion in Garbiñe Muguruza, who came through a tough one against a fellow Grand Slam champion, Victoria Azarenka, that is, in the last round. I do respect Krejcikova, and I understand the form she's in and what she's put together this season, but without a big weapon to really trouble Muguruza, I don't see how she should be favored in this contest. I think Muguruza has the bigger weapons. She moves pretty well for her height, and she has the consistency built into her game along with the power to withstand the long rallies with Krejcikova without making too many errors. We call that rally tolerance. It's something you really need to have against Barbara Krejcikova because she can extend rallies, move the ball back and forth. You've got to be good off both wings, which Muguruza is. You've got to move efficiently, which she does. And of course, she has the weapons to end the points when she gets a short ball. So I do think that this is a bit of an incorrect price, and I think it's primarily due to the fact that Krejcikova has just been on fire this year. And so the books and the markets are kind of over valuing her in this specific position. So I'll look to oppose it here with Garbiñe Muguruza on the money line at plus 102. Be sure to come back tomorrow. We will have another video for Monday's plays. That will be the fourth round once again. Tomorrow is the beginning of the fourth round. Monday, we'll wrap it up, and we'll have picks for Monday coming at you tomorrow.